January, but I've been thinking about the whole ins and outs. Also ignore my spots. I've been picking like a crazy bitch, so it's my fault. But anyways, I've been thinking about the ins and outs trend that we always see, and I've seen a couple, and like there was one, I can't remember whose it was, that I really agreed with. And the thing is whenever I try and do my own version of these things, they end up being really short, because I just feel like some things are obvious and other things feel limiting. So I made 4 ins and 4 outs that I'm going to abide by. They're super fucking random, and I thought I'd share them. I don't know why, but we'll start with outs because I think they make a bit more sense. Doom scrolling in the morning. Okay, so I work in social media, which is why I've excused myself every time I wake up and the first thing I do is doom scroll, because I also never doom scroll before I sleep. I don't doom scroll during the day, so it's my only time, but I also do notice how it makes me feel, which is not great. Even if like the content I'm consuming is good, which it is, it's usually cats and books, you know what I mean, it still makes me feel lazy and I don't love that. And I want to wake up and I want to be productive, and I'd probably better to doom scroll midday-ish than in the morning first thing. Doing things for the sake of doing things, kind of like this. But I've always had that as a bad habit of like, do this so you can say you've done it, instead of like a more deep, sentimental, personal, meaningful reason. So that's something I really personally have to work on. Working for people instead of working with. This is a very privileged thing I can get to say, but I don't really work for people. I've definitely in the last year transitioned to working with. The whole boss aspect of things I hate. Work in general, when it's micromanaged, can't stand. It literally destroyed my mental health, and so this is something that instead of like I'm gonna start doing, it's something I am doing, but I'm gonna do it more and like make sure I don't go back to working for people. And finally, surviving instead of living. Queen. I've been saying this for 5 years, this exact sentence, and I feel like I'm still not quite there. I'm getting better, but the concept of like surviving versus living, I feel like I'm teetering on the edge of both sometimes, and it's hard because it's often dictated by things you can't really control, but it's still something I aim for in life, so I'm gonna try as much as I can, whatever it means. And then we've got the ins. So this is reading even more variety, which I know is going to sound so stupid coming from me because I literally read pretty much every single genre that exists. But then I saw my book stats. I can't remember what it was on. I think it must have been Fable. And it was like, I don't know, mostly romance or something. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I love romance. I love reading it, and it is one of my favourite things. But then I was like, there are some things that I realised I'm not reading, and I think I realised that as well when I was doing the Story Graph Challenge, because there was a genre I didn't read at all, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know I didn't read this genre. And then they also have loads of challenges, which I'm doing at the moment, of like reading authors from specific third world countries and things like that, and things that I think I want to implement and people in general should implement more than we have. I think it's also telling when I look into those things and I can't find like for example, let's say I read a book that was by someone from, I think it was Iraq, I want to say it was Iraq, and it was like the only Iraqi author I could find that was in English. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. There's also like little to none in terms of resources of like how to find authors from these places and things like that. Like there is one site I use, but then I realized like the way that the list was put together of all of these authors was very random and again hard to find in English, and it was just like, what is wrong with this publishing industry? Seriously. So I think instead of like just genres, I kind of mean more like who I'm reading from, like the kind of voices I'm reading from. Hence why like one of my main things this year is to read more Greek authors. I'm Greek. I want to feel connected to my Greek side. I want to read more about our history and things that my ancestors would probably relate to, and also just celebrate Greek voices because that's part of me. So yeah, that's a big one. This one, no one's gonna believe what I'm about to say. No one's gonna believe it. I've been going to the gym. Kill me now. Gym for my mental health though is what I'm specifically saying, because I don't go to lose weight. What weight? Like, be for real. I don't even really go for health reasons because my health is pretty good after my cancer scare last year. I'm never taking that for granted again. But more, yeah, it's 100% for my mental health, and it does help. It's that thing of like depression can't hit a moving target. That's currently where I sit with it. It feels good to also again get up first thing I do and be productive. Love it. Although men need to learn how to use antiperspirant because y'all fucking stink. Thank you. Finding yourself first, and like this is where I'm at. This is in tandem with surviving instead of living. I feel like that's self-explanatory. And finally, unibrows. I know I don't have one right now. I had one though. If you look at my last few videos, I had one, but then it got to the point where I looked like Ted Bundy. Oh my god, it was so bad. I'm not joking, I did look like Ted Bundy. But they're in. Like, I will grow this back, and then as soon as I start to look like Ted Bundy, get rid of it again. Go back. You see what I'm saying? It's in. Do you know what's in? Is women with hair not giving a f about men and what they fucking think about it. That's what's in. That's what's in. Anyways, those are my ins and outs, and that I know they're super random and stupid to a degree, but that's it. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If any of these are on your ins and outs, let me know. If they're not, tell me what is. If you enjoy this, subscribe, like this. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.